Hi, everyone. Welcome to Three Essential Questions, New Mexico's business and nonprofit podcast. I am your host, Pam Myers, and I am here with our guest today and our co host. My co host, the wonderful, fabulous Erika Yocom, is also our guest. So, this came about because one of our previous guests and our listeners said, "Well, how come the two of you have not come on and talked about your businesses?" So that is what we thought we would do starting today. So I am here going to interview Erika. Erika is the COO of Adivita. So, Erika, thanks for
CEO,
joining.
CEO of
COO, what did I say?
You said COO. I was the COO. I'm now the CEO.
Oh, all right, even better.
Yes,
Yeah.
Big Kahuna, otherwise known as
Yeah.
Big Kahuna.
Okay. So share with the audience how, first of all, what is Autovita? And then how did you get started in the company? I mean, how did all this happen?
So Adivita Studios is an audiobook and podcast production company.
Mhm.
So primarily based in New Mexico, but we have editors and producers that live. Actually, we're now international. We've got some in the UK and one in Spain, and we've got clients all over the place too. But most of us, it just lucked out that the core team is here in New Mexico. We do recording virtually for. We currently have 40 plus podcasts in production, and some of them are huge. Like we work with Rich Dad Poor Dad, the Rich Dad radio show, and some of them are smaller boutique ones, and everything in between, business, fun. It's great. And then audiobooks, we do 200 plus audiobooks a year.
Mhm.
Everything from business to fiction. I'm just working on one today, uploading one today that is a 15-hour romance thriller. So, yeah, it's
How
very
fun.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
Uh,
yeah, so as anybody who listens knows that says virtual personal assistant all over the place. I started my VA business, virtual personal assistant VPA, back in 2009, before anyone
mhm.
had a clue what the heck a VA was.
Right.
I used to get, that's how you and I met, and I used to get the,
Mhm.
but you're really here, comments. That was the most common one. Ha, ha. And when I was not virtual
Right.
reality, virtual
Right.
assistants.
Right.
But and I had the hardest time convincing people that streaming software like Zoom, and way back in the day when we were doing Skype and all the log me in, you remember log me in? All of
Right.
those. We were doing all those, that it was the wave of the future and everybody thought I was crazy. And then of course the pandemic hit. But just before the pandemic, David Wolf, who is the founder of Adivita, hired me to work as a VA. We had known each other for, as everybody in the Albuquerque market has known each other forever. We had known each other for quite a while. So he reached out, started working with him. And by January 2020, I was so enamored with the whole business idea. I showed up at his doorstep in person and said, I want to be your business partner. I believe in this. I love this idea, and I love the crew that we're putting together. I want to be your business partner. And so now I'm part owner, and I started off as COO, put together all the processes and systems for the back end of, so we could track all this stuff, because 200 books a year is a lot to
That's a
track.
lot. Mhm.
And it went from a few of us doing this to now, well, we have 6 employees and a bunch of 1099 folk, because they work all over the nation, and
Mhm.
part-time for us. Somewhere in the 20 to 25 people that we work with steadily.
Mhm.
So it's grown
Mhm.
quite a lot. Last year, David decided he was going to go do some really cool stuff, and wanted to step away from the CEO role. So I said, "Ooh, pick me." And he took over as the CEO, which is quite different than COO, in that
Uh-huh.
I've gone from I always used to say in my VA business, tell me where you want to go and I'll get you there. Now I'm the one who has to be the where to say where we're going. So that's been a big shift
Right. Right. Yeah.
for
Oh,
me.
yeah. Wow. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you for
Oh, thank you.
the
Yeah,
road that you've been on, everything that you've achieved.
thank you. And yeah, it's if you had asked me in my 20s, first off in my 20s, I was never going to be an entrepreneur. I mean, ew, right? I was perfectly happy in my little cubicle world being
Uh-huh.
the bright shining star of the company, and because I was younger than everybody and I was tech savvy, so I was the
Mhm.
tech head and all that kind of stuff, and I was, like, lapping that up. Never, never in a million years would I have said, "Yes, I'm going not only am I gonna own my own business and, support my family with my own business, but then I'm gonna be a CEO of a, a larger business and do all
Right.
that." Yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And look at you today, right?
Well, and then,
Yeah. Yeah.
life just
Well,
happens,
it does. Yeah. Well, but you
right?
made it happen. I mean, you took some pretty deliberate steps to make it happen.
Yes, with Adivita, I absolutely did. Yes, I
Yeah.
saw what I wanted and I went after it, which was, not my usual thing. I was usually the like I said, like, you tell me how you wanna do it and I'm there, but this one was
Right.
definitely like, I see this audiobooks are huge. And then, of course,
Right.
COVID hit. And we weren't really thankfully, we weren't very affected by it because everybody was stuck inside. So the consumption of podcasts and audiobooks skyrocketed
Right.
in those years because, everybody was
Mhm.
trapped inside. What do you do? We saw everything change. Like it used to be with podcasts, you released on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, never on a Monday because, people are grumpy, they have to come back from the weekend, and never on a Friday because 'cause they're already gone mentally, right,
Yep.
on the weekend,
Right.
right? So,
Mhm.
but then when the pandemic hit and the shutdown hit, we started seeing numbers shift all over the place, like 11 o'clock on Sunday became a really hot place. Sunday night, 11
Oh,
PM,
wow.
Sunday night became like a really hot space where people were listening. Right,
Oh, how
and,
funny.
watches became we started seeing that people were really listening to podcasts and audiobooks on their watch
Oh
because
my
it's just easier to
gosh.
hit next, right? Your
Right.
phone's in your
Right.
pocket, I don't even have to look at my phone, I can just say, "Yep,
Right.
next, next,"
Right. Right.
and go.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so, and now we are kind of like, we're a higher end white glove kind of thing. That's my big thing is that I wanna be Neiman Marcus, not Walmart, right? I
Right.
wanna be the white glove, high touch. We handhold all of our authors from start to end, and
Mhm.
with lots of personalized service and producers who are fabulous and editors who are great, and we've got proofers and everything else, so that by the time you get your audio files, we know that they're some of the best out there.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right
Well,
now.
that's you. Yeah. Congratulations. That's
Thank you, thank you.
fabulous.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I plan
Yeah.
on doing this
And
for a long time. This is where I see myself because it's a ever evolving space too. Because now we have, AI is showing up and
right.
all those fun,
And you
crazy.
can work from home, so it's convenient and
Yes.
right. Right.
Yes, all of
Yeah.
our yeah, we
Just
do all of our, just like we're doing here, we do all of our recording virtually, on
mhm.
mostly on the Riverside platform, and, it's we can dial it all in and work with people. I just had an author tell me the other day, so Mark had me completely, blanket my workspace, literally with blankets all around him to get that nice warm sound instead of sitting in a big open space and you get that pingy sound, so our producers are walking people through all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, how
And
fun. Yeah.
right? It's like, "Do you have a master closet? Go in there.
Right.
Take your laptop
Right.
in with all those clothes
Mhm.
and record because 'cause
Right.
you're gonna get that nice muted sound that's much easier to work with than the
Right.
tinny sound you get from a big open room."
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Exactly. Which we should advise our guests to
well,
do
I
that,
mean,
right?
our guests show up from I mean, we just had
every
one,
place.
but yesterday was in a coffee shop,
Right.
got
So there
not
was
or
no way. Yeah. A lot of
yeah,
background.
so, some people
Yeah.
show up at the or, Fat Tire or things like that where they're in a co-working space, and it's really hard to tell people, be quiet in the background.
Yeah. 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 There you can't leave the restaurant.
"Hey, you, get your kid under
Right.
control." Yeah, that's
Right.
not
Right.
gonna fly.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
Yes. Now
yeah, I mean,
you don't do any VA stuff anymore, I imagine, do you
I have a couple of, that I work with
didn't
my
wanna.
my bookkeeper is also one of my clients. We have kind of a simpatico thing going, and I'd be lost without her. I have a couple. I have one. Margaret's been with me since the beginning. She's like one of my, I think my second client ever, and she's still with me. I spend, but it's like an hour a month kind of time with her. I'm her tech head, so when Google decides to like hide everything from her, we get on the phone and I walk her through it, or that type of thing. I turned her on to Monday.com, and so when they need to do something there, I'm her tech head. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't not work with her because she's like the best. So shout out to Margaret Otero in Abide, New Mexico. She's
Shout out,
awesome.
Margaret.
Yeah. Um,
Yep. So if people have a book, say if somebody's a new author and they would like to reach out to you, then how do they reach out to you? Do you have a
So,
website?
yeah,
Adivita?
so it's Adivita.com, and
Mhm.
it's Adivita, which means the sound of life. That's what Adivita
Mhm.
means. 'Cause we have people ask that. And on there you can, reach out, schedule my contact information is on the bottom of every page. We also have you can schedule a time to talk to one of our people who will walk you through what it takes, to do that. I can whip up a quote with the best of them. So if somebody wanted to reach
Mhm.
out and say, "Hey, I got this book," I'm more than happy to talk to them.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much. Anything you want to recommend to people? Any words of advice?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, a podcast doesn't necessarily have to be, a work endeavor. We have several podcasters who are doing passion podcasts, who
Mhm.
want they have just a limitless information on a certain topic, and they want and they want to talk about it and share it with the world. I tell people that's a great I mean, it's an
Right.
awesome way to share your information in a nice, clean, well-produced place.
Right. Right. Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And Audivita can help you get there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Erica, for being my great co-host on Three Essential Questions podcast and for being a guest on the podcast today.
Thank you for this was a great idea. It's weird, but wonderful. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
But always reach out and ask questions of anybody, of anything. That's the best part about this show is learning
Right.
all these new people and then going, "Hey, I know where to find that person."
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. Thank you. And thanks everybody for listening. Keep listening to these podcasts and share them with your friends.
Thank you.